Okay, let's go again. So while we're waiting, look at some title player games. Silencer, is he? What's that dot? I mean, I wish it would tell you the status again more clearly. It's definitely not playing. Koblenz is one to watch all the time, it seems, this morning. So 5-minute game. So Koblenz playing black, it seems, and faced with horrible pawn here at the moment. I think it's going to be a draw somehow. I think White's now winning actually, because you can win the rook and the pawn wins. King's too far away. It's a trivial win, isn't it? A5, King A7, end the game. Yep. So next game. We got a game. Okay. Paltu. How's he doing on the 15-minute? 4 losses in a row there. Interesting. Okay. Okay, second move. Deep thought. Second move. He's thinking which variation of the Sicilian, and going through the various pawn structures, weighing the pros and cons of each. That should be 5 as a change. Sort of more positional, more occupying type play. Give him the bishops and play for c4, I think. Knight c3. Sokolsky kind of system. Well, many names of bishop b5. I think Sokolsky attack I've seen on the Magnus game recently. So he was annoyed. No, he crushed. No, he didn't crush. It was a complex game against Topov. I thought it might have been worse, but it was really complex. So Carlson finishing second in Tatar still to Iranian. Put this bishop here. Sort of binds b5, d5, and a Karpov. Karpov played in Roxy quite a lot at some point in his career. So Queen E2, maybe Rook A1, F4. Queen E2 eyes b5 anyway. Maybe King H1, F4, G4, G5. That'd be fun. Maybe Rook AD1 just to sort of emphasize central control first. Then F4, G4, G5. Rook AD1. Carlson sort of sacrificed his queen side to get his attack in. AD1 F4 G4 or AD1 F4 F5. Is black pressing at some point to play d5, change the structure? That rook on e8 pointing at my queen. Does it matter? If so, should I be playing for f4 then? If d5 take, mind you, the knight's liability. There's always bishop c5 maybe. So rook ad1's good for d5 anyway. If I want to take e5, knight fd7, then f4. So, okay, on a deep think here. 2-3 minutes of moves, not going to be that many moves to play. Alright, so it's b5 on cards or d5? I'm playing f4 now. I'm not sure about g4. I'm weakening the diagonal. I know he hasn't got a light square bishop, but what about just f5? Try and provoke e5 and get the bind strengthened. f5. f5. Or is that too committal? What horrible things could happen on g4? I suppose d5 and bishop e4 to dislodge the knight, to put pressure on the centre. So can I play rook fe1 to discourage d5? I could do that because ed, and I'm on e6. There's queen f4. Still d takes e6, rook d4. I don't know. g4 here, d5. e5, does that do anything? I don't think so. Tricky. Well, getting this rook in, rook f3 to h3. For e5, it's pretty solid. So I'm a bit stuck here actually. Okay, maybe back to f5. Let's go back to f5. So he really plays e5, he's locking in his own d5, and also knight here to here. He's using his time. No commitment of a pawn here. Putting the rook back, simply. So rook f3. Maybe try and sack the exchange later. Double up rooks, takes, and rook f6. This bishop we get on diagonal. We'll try for that. Something concrete anyway. Without moving another pawn. I don't really want to move too many pawns. So just doubling on there. For fe, rook f6. Bishop f6, rook f6 takes. Dangerous diagonal, knight a4, queen g4, something like that. Or knight d5. Okay. So b5 I think is adequately under lock and key at the moment. Take, can't see anything there, black. d5, I can play e5, maybe an f6. If he takes here, knight takes f5, that's good. Okay, I'm feeling a bit impatient. I'll just do the maths then. He's got 8 minutes left. If he spends a minute on every move, we're talking like 8 moves to wait here. This is a long time between each move. Okay, is it because he thinks he's got a very difficult position? Okay, knight c2, b5. Maybe I can. No. Oh! b5 works, doesn't it? Because of the c2. I can't take. Or can I? I'll take with the queen after. So if I get knight e3, that'd be a juicy Moxie bind, knight e3, but he can't allow that. But there's a possibility of knight e3 if b5. I think he has to play b5 soon. Preferably now. Okay, so c takes and then queen takes. Or knight e3. Is knight e3 just letting him off the hook, I wonder? I get this knight to c4. Taking on b5. Looks like a free pawn. These pawns in the endgame could be good. Follow up by knight e3 to d5. Okay, I'm going to take. Call the bluff, hang on, knight e4. Collapse in the centre for c2. I don't want that. So no good. Knight e3 then. It is. So knight takes c4 here. Looks good. Maybe this rook can actually go back. Target d6. Queen d2. Impressive. Also this a pawn. Some games by queenside pawns a week we've seen recently. It's worth checking out that as well. But there's a 2-to-1 here in the background for in games. Back with d6 pawn. Looks particularly vulnerable. Knight e3 looks as though that could be very important to this lodge. I think knight e3 is very tempting. Just to get onto d5. Mind you, rook d3, there was knight c5. I don't want him on e4, that's for sure. Okay. g4 here. Rook g3. a4. I think rook g3 is interesting. For knight g4, okay, rook g3. Try and get a knight g4 takes bishop f6. It's all pretty solid, but clamped down. It's d5. How do I provoke further weaknesses here? Why didn't I just take on a6? a6 was on. That certainly doesn't look like gambit, because this is protecting that. Oh, I could have won a6. Oh dear. At 10 minute 55 as well. Dear, oh dear. Anyway, knight g4 looks good here now. Because if bishop f6, there's rook d6 now, weakness of the last move. If I'm going to be that lazy and move quickly, look at the weaknesses of the last move, and hopefully there's something building up on his king here. Knight takes, queen takes, bishop f6, rook d6, threatening rook f6. It's really using his time as well. Surely it's just going to lead to chronic time pressure. Alright, let's think again. Knight h6 is also another idea. King h8 is knight f7. If king f8, there's no major forcing move. There's rook g7 doesn't do anything. Alright, okay. Concrete threat. So there's rook d6 here. So rook f6, another concrete threat. Say knight d7, I think knight d5. There's no back row mate just yet on c1. So I would be threatening knight f6 and queen g7. So knight d7, and this is actually just knight d7 is rook f6 anyway, just on g7. So the threat here is rook takes f6. Rook takes f6. Oh, he just resigned. Oh, so 25 moves, this one. So that's a successful kind of Monoxy bind attack. b5 was dangerous potentially. Take. He takes on e4. So if knight takes, queen c2. So I avoided that and went in for this instead. Comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.